And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, for the desk right after game one and right before game number two. We have Galions Pearls versus Zerance Bloom on the menu here, but the desk stays the same. I'm AC, and joining me is SIM and Rev. And just to recap, I know there was a couple of technical issues, which we deeply apologize for. We had an interview with Starry, who told us that they are more than ready to take on playoffs and to fly over to Paris to go on land. Scrims have been going great. They've only scrimmed in best of 5 formats with high ping. And let me tell you, if they've been dominant so far in best of 1s, we can't wait to see them on best of 5. But with that out of the way, Galions Pearls versus Zerance Bloom. I wanted to start with Rev this time around because this is a match that can definitely turn the whole group around, Rev.
I mean, yeah, and it's the last chance, of course, for Zerance Bloom to show that, you know, the qualifiers wasn't just a fluke. They are, I think, the only team getting a win of Eterna over there in the final. So, you know,
True.
They know how to play the game. They have been playing ever since the EEC. They are a team that actually brings a lot of chaos to the Rift, and somehow they haven't been able to utilize that chaos this time around. Now, for Galions, I don't know. They are my favorite team to hate because I really don't know what's going on with them. I have abandoned all hopes in trying to predict them. They might be winning by 15,000 gold and then lose, or vice versa. I really want to hear their comms because there's something magical over there.
It is an interesting one there, Rev, because I remember Galions Pearl still from AEC when that was going on, and it looked like they had like the flying start of flying starts. Yeah. There was so much potential. They were winning against teams that people would never expect them to win against, and out of nowhere, it felt like it all fell apart. Yeah. Like they started losing matches, they dropped all the way from first to barely making the cutoff, or did they barely not make it? I don't remember it.
I think there was like a tiebreaker and they lost.
Oh yeah, that was the tiebreaker against Nexus Reapers / now Blue Altars, right?
Yes,
I think
yes. But like, it looked like there was so much potential, and then out of nowhere everything was gone. So for now, for them, it is a do or die situation because you are playing against Zerance Bloom. That's the only other team currently in the group that also has not yet been able to pick up a win because you still need to get your rematch against G2 Hell because that match still has to be played out. If you want to get through to the next stage, at least one of these teams needs to have a win. So for Galions Pearls, it is as important that they pick up a win here so they don't have to feel like all the pressure for a game against G2 Hell. But the same thing goes for Zerance Bloom, because if you win this game and you put Galions Pearl on 0-2, now there is a do or die situation against G2 Hell for Galions Pearl. So for both of these teams, you now have to make it happen. This has to be the game that you take away.
Absolutely, and we just saw the squad that's going to represent Galions Pearl here on the Summoner's Rift in this best of 1. If we could just pass by Zerance Bloom to see what they have in store for us without being the top lane, Lily, Malu, Vicky, and Issei. This is, so far, the only team who's been able, like Rev said, to rescue a game against Eterna. Because they've been looking untouchable thus far.
They have indeed, and so it shows you that, you know, the ceiling is there. You can actually do a lot of great things with this roster. The thing is, what's going on right now, and why haven't been able to, I don't know, adapt to the meta? They haven't been able to find the breakpoint in the games, to close out the games. I really don't know exactly what's going on there, but something is definitely lacking for them. And I do hope, it's their last chance. Just go all out, and if you're gonna ask me, just abandon the meta. Who cares?
Abandon the meta.
Most efficient, as one would say, and that one is me. Just go for the comfort picks. Just feel nice. If you lose, you're gonna lose by playing the picks that you like. You're gonna lose by having fun. If you win, hey, you played with your best picks.
Yeah.
And
now
then-
we do. Oh, sorry. Go on. Sorry.
No, but I also want to add to that. We haven't seen Zerance bloom yet in the condition that it is maybe an unlosable situation. Like last week, they were playing against Blue Otters, and it had to come down to an Elder Dragon steal for them to lose a game like that. So there was still a lot of potential within that group or within that match for Zerance Bloom to take a win away. So it's not like they're a team that, they're 0-2, we're not expecting anything of them anymore. There is a lot of potential. They just have to close out that one game. And last week, it was just barely not that, but it was so close nonetheless.
All right, and now we do have an interview. We did ask a question to Lily. Even though they are on the lower side of the bracket, how are the team? What is the team working on to try to bring it back together here on and get the first big dub?
And then we overforce things and lose track of what we should do. I think the game versus Blue Otters was very unfortunate. It was our game from start to ending, but we are prone to inting. That's what people realized, and we also do. I think that we have had good moments in both games that we had. Even against G2, we had a bad draft in that game. And bad situations, I'd say, but I think we will beat Galions and make it out of groups.
All right, and we are back straight into draft where we have Zerance Bloom on the blue side, Galions Pearl start on the red. It looks like Zerance Bloom do not want to see that Sivir that we just witnessed from Eterna joining the Rift this game.
I mean, makes sense, right? Sivir can be overpowered. You give her time, you give her space, suddenly she can take over your games. Maybe it's not the 300 CS win condition when it was when Reckless was relevant in the AD carry position, yet extremely strong ADC nonetheless. But with the Sejuani, always a very nice pick to just, influence the game on low eco.
To me, it feels like Sivir is one of those champions where we see that teams like to build these blockade compositions around it, that you cannot reach this carry, and all the carry has to do is right click in combination with the ricochet, and it just completely dominates the team fight. So it makes sense that if you are not sure that when you do not get to pick up the Sivir yourself, you can easily dive a champion like this and take her out, that you just take her out of the equation at all because you just don't want to play against it. And it feels like there's not really a champion like this, maybe the Xayah, that can replicate the form of safety you can build around it.
Alright, and now the first wave of bans has already been taken. We have the Nocturne on Zerance Bloom's side, or Galions Pearl just decide to, you have the ball delivery system still online. We just don't want the ball to be a part of the game at all. So they take out the Orianna alongside the Ziggs, alongside the Seraphine. So there is a lot of focus on these potential carry mages. But still, Zerance Bloom, they prioritize the Syndra as their first pick here.
I mean, it's kind of the comfort, right? They are following the doctrine I told them to, and I do like it because nothing worked so far. And even if you do everything greatly, you are using the best strategies in the world, if it doesn't give you a dub, it doesn't give you a dub. It doesn't get simpler than that. And sometimes you do need those dubs, right? You do need to just start winning so you can start rolling, especially with your backs against the wall.
Ooh, but a responsive Galio here from the side of Galions Pearl SIM, alongside the Xin Zhao.
Yeah, we see what used to be a combination of the Galio with the Camille back in the day, but with Camille just being out of relevancy for a long time, you now have a system with the Xin Zhao being able to jump in and then the Galio all over it. It does make sense as a response because you see, well, Syndra's being locked in the first as first pick on the other side. Unfortunately, not as flexible as a champion she used to be before. And then we get the Udyr lock in. Is that the interesting thing that you're looking at here?
It is, yes. I haven't seen a competitive Udyr in the whole of 2025 and probably 2024.
We haven't seen him for like a decently long time. I still think that as a jungler, he has a really nice clear. There are still lots of ways to just walk into a lane and gank it. But what I also really like about a champion like Udyr in a situation like this is potential flexibility. Like Udyr top, we also haven't seen in a while, but there are some matchups where this champion can just completely dominate and make sure that certain champions are just unavailable to pick up, like a Dr. Mundo, for instance. So with now a little bit more flexibility enabled for Zerance Bloom, I start to like the draft more and more, even though it would make sense that the Udyr is just a response pick on the Xin Zhao picked on the other side.
I mean, it's still a very, very nice pick, and I think Lily was the last time I saw Udyr being played. She played in the jungle, and she played it full AP. Not really an OP pick, but I do like it being there because it's very naturally tanky, extremely strong in early skirmishes as well, and you know, most of the junglers right now who are in meta are heavy skirmishers. So you do have that, and then you just scale infinitely with AP.
Can I sell you guys a little bit of spice? I want to sell you guys a little bit of spice before we head into the second rotation, because you have the Xin Zhao and you have the Nautilus locked in from Galions Pearl. What's stopping him from going AP Xin Zhao top with the Nautilus jungle?
AP Xin Zhao.
What's stopping him? I've had that play against me. That thing is unkillable. It is silly how strong it is.
This is bringing me back to like all Civ HD video times where AP Xin Zhao was a song that he made, and sure, it was a lot of fun back in the day, but now with these champions being locked in this way, the only spicy thing that I'd see happen right here, if you want to make the Xin Zhao more of a like broken engage champion, is if you want to flex a Karma into the top lane. But blinding Karma top sounds like probably one of the worst decisions you can make. So please do not do that unless Karma is your R5 and an actual decent response to whatever Zerance Bloom is drafting.
Alright, so Camille is also taken out of the picture. We talked about how not as relevant she wouldn't be as relevant in current meta, but still worthy of a ban here. So they do not want to see Wyozna playing that carry in the top lane, which, truth be told, Galions Pearl is a very top heavy team. They do like to have Wyozna on a carry champion.
I mean, yeah, and on the other side, although we also can play carry champions, usually those are, you know, the little bit tankier, the Aatroxes, the sets. So, you know, anything that can lock you up. Plus, it's a very good combo with a Kai'Sa Galio. So, you know, there's a very nice dive combo there that you're suddenly disabling. It's very nice to just snip it out and then get your hyper carry with these without having to worry about anything else.
So bot heavy compositions coming in. Yeah, sorry.
And we're looking in smaller for bot, so that basically says that we want to play topside oriented, well, Ambassador then being the final pick for Zerance Bloom. I wonder if Wyozna would like to pick up a champion like Rumble here. Like, Rumble I feel like has been such a strong champion again after the bug fix a couple of months ago, and you still need maybe a little bit more of AP threat on Galions Pearl as well. It would be interesting to see if they're willing to pick it up, but then, yeah, can you pilot it into an Ambessa as well? Because Ambessa is just a really, really difficult champion to play into. Oh, we're going for the Gwen, other AP champion.
For the Gwen. There's a very heavy AP, there's an AP heavy team here. On the side of Galions Pearl, it is going to be the Xin Zhao jungle, Galio mid, nothing too surprising coming in. But if you decide, or if this is going to facilitate, if you want to have any tanks in your team, Galions Pearl have a lot of magic damage output from their side.
Yeah, they do have so much magic damage, but the thing is, who's gonna tank it, right? Is there a dedicated tank? Even Udyr, we were talking about the full AP build, or like at least the tanky AP build. There's nobody who's there to just tank it, so you don't really care about the isolate damage. Here, suppose maybe med threat value will jump through the roof, but that's that. And after that, what you gonna do? Like, are you gonna try and find all those extra AP or MR items? I don't think so.
All right, so we have the 2 drafts on the table. Gwen on the Wyozna for the carry potential top lane. SIM, let's start off with you. Final thoughts here on this draft.
Easy final thoughts. I see a damage profile on one side that is heavily AP skewed and isn't necessarily there during the early stages. So that means more time to reach late game, more time to reach Smolder stacks. So I'm going with the Smolder pick. This is going to be completely dominant over a game like this, and Zerance Bloom will therefore take the game.
Rev?
I completely agree, honestly. I do think that although they don't have a tank, they are playing to their comforts, they are playing to scaling, and even if games, I don't know, go very, very south, there is that scaling potential, right? That you can just wait out and suddenly Smolder becomes very, very strong.
So a team of desk analysts rooting for the downfall of Galions, bro. Let's see what happens as we toss it over to the caster desk. Luna and Temporal are so ready to take it away.
Thank you once again, AC, SIM, and Rev. Now then, Temporal. We were talking during that draft there, and one big thing stood out to us towards the end.
I think Galions Pearl's downfall might be slightly overrated after that draft. In the last 7 matches that Galions Pearl have played, they've had Gwen banned first against them 6 times. Wyozna is an absolute fiend on the pick. I'd love to see it come through on R5. Luna, I've had a moment today. I don't know if anyone wants to play Corki. Do people want to play Corki?
Apparently not.
It just
Apparently
feels
Corki
weird.
is not the
He's
flavor
not
of
here.
today.
He's not here. Just like Galions Pearl are checking if Zerance Bloom are here or not. Marlow will spot them out on the entrance into this blue buff as they invade the West Quadrant, and Zerance Bloom just going to decide whether they want to say hello.
I'd wager not. Just going to tiptoe their way around. Not get caught out too much. You can see Vicky just stepping in, trying to get that ward down on towards the bottom side. So there will be some tracking on towards how.
And something I'd like to talk about nice and early on is the devs were a bit surprised at Udo. Clearly not watched enough RPS. Not only is Hui like pick of the month, absolute like saint in the mid lane, all of the UK teams had Udo banned against them nearly every game, and when it wasn't, we picked it and we won, which was so much fun. Guy's an absolute juggernaut right now. You can extend a 2v2 so much damage out of the Phoenix stance. Really gives even Xin Zhao a bit of grief, and of course it'll follow him through his ultimate, which has come up more than a few times with the Xin Zhao player. Feels so comfortable, just like Galions Pearl feel comfortable walking forwards.
Lumi gonna get flipped back by the mount up.
That's right.
Dredge line went just a little bit too wide to start that engage out.
Yeah, we've forced engage through both supports. Issei got the rel first, then Lumi with the Nautilus afterwards, and I wasn't sure on the pickup, right? There are ways to deal with the rel. Nautilus, not traditionally the easiest of them. Is this another dredge line? This is a powerful stance from Lumi. The level 2 comes in.
Looks like a dredge line was thrown and went slightly wide once again. Over 2 so far, but of course Nautilus hitboxes will do Nautilus hitbox things at some point in this game.
It doesn't have the
OP
lollipop
being
right
pushed
now.
by
It's
Wyozna
not
in
a
the
sweet
top lane.
hook. I'm trying to do puns, carry on.
We're just not going to move, get a ward on towards the top jungle, so now there is going to be tracking for both sides on the rift. How pathing towards bot side, and Lily coming up towards the top side.
Yeah, just wandering around, just getting sorted. Not a lot to be read, I think, out of these early assignments. Potentially, it means Lily would be pathing away from the dragon, which Yuda is very good at just taking, just burning through objectives, nice and quick. Can even go a little bit into Tiger early on, if you do want single target damage to add. Lumi and Cosmic still got the push in this bottom side. Kaiser Nautilus, it's eternal. It's been 7 years of frankly, every time we celebrate its death, this very resilient bot lane just comes back in. I've been enjoying the Kaiser with the triple attack speed items. The current build is Kraken Ginsu and then Terminus, which is just so much damage once the 2 and 3 items comes through. It's a sight to see. We get more like exciting Kaisers instead of AP Kaisers. Tons of fun.
It certainly is. Oh, we're going to trade back onto Wyojna here. Hallowed Mist doing a lot of work just to kind of force LP to play on the edge a little bit. Can't get too close without losing your entire health bar, but can't be too far away either.
Right.
How
Already
could be looking here?
first recall through for Lily though. Might be able to respond.
Dredge line lands. Vicky gonna have to flash away. Ignite goes down. Flash out of Issei as well. In come with the audacious charge. A lot of damage coming down. When comes lightning or tag, but it's not quite enough. Issei able to walk that one out.
Flash is gone from Zerance Bloom's bottom lane. It's surprise we'll keep our eye on it. Alpi going low here, but the exhaust was used. Wheelson's still a level down, so we'll have to try and teleport to get back into lane. Not a bad shout, trying to fight that 1v1 a level down. With exhaust burned as well, so slightly asking for trouble.
Most certainly is, as we see resets start coming across the board. Only solo is still out on the rift. Lily could be looking for a bit of an invade here. Issei at her back. Are going to get caught out by that ward there. So how?
Oh,
Still going to walk into them, however. Crashdown comes in, and this should just be first blood going across to the side of Zerance Bloom. I saw the one shot before the kill actually went down at the top there.
for sure. You know, those hooks in bottom lane. I was like, oh, like first blood will happen here, like for sure. And like brain catching up, easy pickup. Lily reads the timer perfectly, shows up with support, and I think getting that slightly earlier base on the unit has let them keep up their farm, and then just realize like, hey, I'm a little bit faster. Like, let's just go in there and sort this out. Excellent read. And we'll have advantage coming into this dragon. Hasn't got the reset off though to realize it. So he's running out of time before this objective on the far side of the map.
Certainly is. Could just see the standard trade taken in this game. So really just gonna finish off this clear before heading back home, as How, having lost their Krugs, immediately walks out on towards this bottom side. Looks to start up this dragon.
You got the push in bottom lane, I guess, from the jungler's point of view. It is risky. I think Mallow has at the run of mid, and Lily should be walking off this camp right now. At least not quite giving away. Alright, no contest. Galions Pearl, easy peasy dragon. Feels a bit weird to me. Feels like this might be the consequence of Lily's pathing earlier on, but you've got the kill down as well, so you can't be too upset. It's a small decomposition. They don't want to risk it. They're just going to take it later.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, while a Hextech Dragon is always nice in its own lonesome, the stats useful for everybody. It's not the end of the world. You just see Lily moving in to help relieve a little bit of pressure on towards Mallow's. Lumi going to find the hook onto Issei, going to get stunned up by the Shattering Strike and just take a little bit of chip damage. Problem with that is it's Smolder stacking.
Oh, we love Smolder stacking. It's just gonna get two more. There he goes. Having a great time. Having a great time. Luna, we clocked in the match history, and I think I was on the desk for this one as well. EC, Zerance Bloom were unfortunately eliminated by this team we might have heard of called Galions Pearl. 2-1 after winning game 1 in a best of 3 in the lower bracket. Just looking back over it, in game number 1, Zerance Bloom played Rel. In game 2, they played Syndra. And in game 3, they played Udyr. This is like a retrospective of the series between them. It's really weird how like the team comp is like slices and pieces. And there were other champions in there that are in this game but picked away from them. And it's nice to sort of see that even though the patch has changed, even though we've had different priorities, like Hui has come in and out of the meta and stuck in properly since Corki has just been so popular, that we're still kind of playing to flavor and playing to our players' strengths. And it's nice to see that not a lot has changed, but the rivalry between these two teams, it was the over to Zerance when Galions had to start taking it a little bit more seriously in 2 and 3 to keep up, and then had to play a really cool Lissandra comp to win game 3. It was a proper story, and now we're getting the continuation.
It's a grubber piece for now, but Lily has actually just backed off, said, you guys can take the second one. That is 2 notches on the feet of Monster Slaying, going across the Galions Pearl here. And if Zerance want their revenge, they're gonna have to start looking for Start looking for something, I'd wager, as we see both bot lanes moved up towards this top side now.
It's really tough, right? Because with Udi comps, I want to see bloodshed. I want to see fighting. He's going to clear his jungle at 900 miles per hour and then go fight. And you're either going to have numbers because your enemy jungler is still like, help, I need my raptors. Or you're still going to be an absolute force of nature. But it's a Smolder comp. We want to slow down. It's going to at least be a strong body in front of the Smolder later on. Like, there is the synergy, but it's not the synergy I'm used to.
Yeah, really not got an obvious lane to play towards as Anudia in this game, but OP actually doing a lot of work into EUniverse in the early stages. Gwen certainly needs at least one, possibly even two items to really start to match onto this Ambessa, as I've just going to clear out some vision. Feels like Galions kind of have their run of the map at this moment in time.
Yeah. They feel a little bit stronger right now, despite me thinking, you know, oh, Syndra's had the push so far. Around the dragon did slow it down. We'll see if that happens again in about 90 seconds, but the hook's through!
Beautiful. Public execution will come through, but it won't be enough flash used. There's
I'll
no clearance to get any more flash forward from Cosmic. And down in the name of Uzi goes OP.
Oh, that was so close. That was so close, Luna. I thought they'd done it. I thought they'd done the top lane classic of like, ah, 'tis but a flesh wound, and walks away like completely unscathed, but at 1 health. And, not to be. Tragic takedown there. So we're reminded just of what Kaiser can do with a lick of AD and an isolated target.
Yeah, incredible awareness from the Iron's Pearl bot lane there. Lumi finding the initial engage, and Cosmic able to commit for it. Does mean this Kaiser is without flash though, and without the killer instinct as well. So there is definitely the angle to be found if Zerance decide to look for it.
The dragon would be the opportunity. Mallow with the Blackfire torch through. We haven't seen any unleashed power this game, but Galions AD carry Cosmic, no doubt the premier target. We also are in how just being able to fade away either into their ultimates or some hallowedness would be a struggle for the Syndra, generally speaking. Could throw a scatter to get those larger defensive cooldowns out, but your unleashed power will always be what they're watching for.
Certainly will be. That being said, if we can get a stack check on both of our stacking champions in this game.
Should we do some
relative
maths?
strength is sitting.
Should we
We'll
do some
maths.
averages?
Yeah, let's do some maths.
I love maths. I love maths, Lena. I'm looking for a +1 dragon in a moment. Galleon's just gonna move down, almost a trap on this wave. We want to see if Vicky's gonna come clear it, but already off and towards the objective. Pings down, and Zerance Bloom are either gonna lose some waves or get trapped into a tower in a second. They are late to this rotation.
Most certainly are. Mallow gonna look to try and move down now, but all 4 members of Galions are already there, and looks like they're just gonna cool off of it.
Yeah, I think it's okay to hand it over if you're confident you're gonna be stronger in the future. I don't think a Mountain Dragon's gonna make a difference to the Smolder plus Mom combo, rather. And getting him evolved nice and easy.
That does make the Dragons 2-2 though.
Wait, I'm having a moment. Reading the scoreboard. No, 2-0. 2-0. And then
2-2 because it's Smolder and Mom. It's 2-2.
Oh, help. Send help. It's Sunday morning. I'm still in cozy clothes. I'm hanging out, watching some League of Legends, and I can't believe you've just done that to me.
The opportunity was there. I had to take it.
Brutal. It was brutal. I appreciate it though. I'd have done the same. Zerance Bloom back out on the map, and we are stacking up on this Smolder. It is going to be a relatively straightforward game for Vicky. Once you get that evolution, it's quite easy to like throw back a Xin Zhao who's starting to engage. The ultimate buys a little time, but it is not a lot against the empowerment of Vicky. And if you then dive onto Vicky, that defense not going to be enough to slow the Smolder's DPS down. I am still curious about how the side lanes are going. We've had Ambessa versus not Gwen for a little while. And while Ambessa has been the flavour of this tournament, Lumi going to have to flash out of here, I feel.
Depth Charge comes in, Hal flashes over the wall, and there's the hero's entrance as well. It is Galion's Pearl who pull the trigger onto Issei. And what looked like a pretty quick catch.
Yeah, that was more straightforward than I thought it was going to be. I thought if Zerance Bloom did the public execution and dove back over the top, they'd be able to space that out. Oh, Alpi, no.
Speaking of public execution, Alpi going to get caught up. Lily is here flashing in, looking for how. Will find it. Picks up that kill for herself. Ive going to have to flash away as Issei rejoins the team. A very quick respawn and teleport out onto the map thanks to that unsealed spell. But
That's the power of the Udyr. That's the Lily in the pit. That was all set up for the Udyr. The Phoenix is so strong at level 9, maxed out, and that base damage rips through opponents.
with the Leandros on top, no less. A lot of burning, a lot of quick burning, no less. Cosmic going to get caught by the scatter. Just going to give another stack across. Have to check in with Mallow and Vicky shortly to see where they're sitting stack-wise.
It's I've appreciated like the we don't have it here obviously. We have our own setup, but the LoL Esports one where you get it in the corner of the champion is just I love looking at it, watching it slowly increase. That's the pressure that we can't see on the screen right now that Zerance Bloom are sort of exuding. Galions Pearl can feel it, no doubt.
Well, Lily's certainly feeling something, and it might be an anchor hitting her in the back. As this Herald spawns, Ryojna is here as well, and it could be the first 5-on-5. Public execution comes in, and Ive is going incredibly low. First kill comes through as Defeat Warfare goes across, thanks to Vicky. Mallow finds Lumi, but Cosmic is going rampant. Ryojna finds 2 as Lily and LP fall. How are they able to get the Cosmic Radiance, not Cosmic Radiance, the, I forget the name, down. Survived for now, but another kill's already gone across. It's a double kill for Lumi now as Cosmic is left all on her lonesome. Flashes forwards looking for Mallow. Mallow able to flash out of the pit, dodge the Void Seeker, as Issei just keeps this Kai'Sa locked up. Shattering Strike. She's able to kite it out for now. Lethal Tempo is procced. The Kraken Slayer is doing work. Vicky has rejoined the fray, however. Slowed down, and Mallow going to pick it up with a Scorch.
I love teleport on AD carries. It is really Cosmic and Vicky's world here. The Smolder set up for so fantastically at the start of that fight. Gets a shooting gallery, the mom. Tons of damage over the top of Lily, who is able to deal and take a serious amount. And while Cosmic gets the precise strike, gets the dive, later on in the fight, it's not enough to play through. Huge advantage for Zerance Bloom as they are getting the Smolder where this little guy needs to go.
Most certainly, as we take another look at that fight, the Heralds aiding both sides at different points.
It's just a little bit of jungle combat. Despite the Galio being so strong here, having so much health, it does burn down a little quickly. Issei, what would have been Galion's Pearl, like having their little route here, Ryojna and How would have got the kill back onto Vicky if Issei wasn't there in the nick of time. And despite Cosmic picking up those 2 kills onto the top side of Zerance, it is going to be Galion's Pearl falling down here, and the desk's portent of doom just coming true a little bit earlier than schedule.
That is a second dragon going across the Galions in the meanwhile, though, so that gives them the feat of monster slaying. And with no towers falling just yet, feats of strength are still available to both sides.
So someone's got to get that tower. Someone's got to get it. Dragon coming up any second. Both teams keen to break the stacking or get that Elder through for Galions. You're going to spot out Zerance Bloom as they approach. It's a narrow choke into the pit.
Ive looking, doesn't quite find anything with a Justice Punch as the rest of Zerance have finally arrived. And Mom goes across the top of everybody, across the Magnet Storm, but unfortunately there was a Crescent Guard there, which means How did not take anywhere near as much damage as she would like. Now they're going to look for something on the backside. Ive going to be the reward.
That's commiseratory enough. It's a bit of a shame Issei tried to play that angle. Unfortunately, the dragon was pulled nice and close, so Galion's Pearl able to take down the Rel before the Ambassador could even get out of lane. Alpi too far away to offer the other part of a delicate pincer movement, and Zerance Bloom will be happy enough just collecting this Rift Herald on the out. You do have to be careful not to lose the tier 1 though. They are pushing for it with Mallow in the top side. Whether they can make that work. The boots, the super shoes, up for grabs.
That they are. We can see they're looking for it in the bot side as well, and Ryojna going to rip through this if given the time. Herald's only just gone down. And you're going to have to get top and drop it quickly. It's not going to happen as Galions are going to be able to pocket these feats of strength.
Oh, it was so close! Mallow, no! Oh, brutal. The Syndra only a second behind. That's got to sting.
Can't feel great. We're going to get a second charge onto the tier 2 in the top side, though. I don't think you want to be too upset here.
It's no bounty gold over. Oh, that feels rough.
It is still roughly a 3,000 gold lead in favour of Zerance Bloom, however.
It's a nice place to be with a Smolder, you know. Like, oh, we're gonna suffer the early game, friends. We're gonna get where we're going. It's like, no, actually, we're just gonna win the first few team fights and just have a smooth coasting end to the game. That would be the dream for Zerance Bloom. But in the immediate future, they do need to contest this Articon. Looking across the map right now, we do have How in the bot side of the map with 40 seconds. So they've either got a recall or get back out onto the map to make a difference in front of this Articon. Otherwise, it'll be Zerance Blooms to start.
And it will. Lily has just moved into this bottom side as well. However, looking across the board, second item in for this Udyr and for this Syndra. And Malo, 5-0-2, having a very, very good game. Quite quietly, in fact, outside of the team fights.
Yeah, it's been just a little bit of pressure in mid. It's been nice. A 30 CS differential once moved to sides. So I think ideally we should just praise Zerance Bloom for rushing back to sides as soon as there's not anything going on. They haven't, had any sort of extended stalemates. They haven't been overly patient when it comes to meeting of Smolder and the rest of the teammates at these bigger fights. Instead, as soon as the job's done, it's back out onto the map with waves to be collected. And it's reasonable praise for this composition that scales with gold so fantastically.
It certainly does. As we can see, it is Zerance with the control around the Articon for now. Lumi and How stuck on the other side of this bush here, trying to play space as best they can.
Alright. If I'm Galions Pearl right now and I want the pick.
Lumi gonna find onto E-Save, gets stunned up by the Shattering Strike and is being rinsed by this Cryo Phoenix Storm. Having to run away, Dredge line of the wall will keep her safe for now. Depth charge gonna knock up Lily, but this Udyr is so incredibly tanky. How? Has to use the Crescent Guard early, but is publicly executed immediately by OP. Lumi goes down to Lily on the backside. How is next on this list? We are just jumping forward, finds a beautiful needlework through 3 members, but not quite far enough ahead to have the damage. Cosmic wasn't able to join the fight either. It's just gonna be the one kill for now. How?
Easy peasy. That's all they need off the pick. Zerance just able to weather the storm, and even though Nautilus comes forward and initiates, ultimately falls down. Really not able to get the rest of Galions Pearl over to the kill. Lane should be neutralized. However, our red team, plenty of pings down as they coalesce on the top side. Issei is not here for Zerance.
Able to get out of dodge for now, though. Gold lead going up to about 3,500 gold. Most of that in Malo's back pocket at present. About 2,500 over lane counterpart.
No exit kills, just the dragon in the future. Articon over to Zerance Bloom. Easy peasy.
Malo flashing forward onto Ive. Doesn't quite find it though. The damage reduction coming through from that shield of Duran. Incredible.
Yeah, a whole bunch of magic resist already stacked up on the Galleon. So not the premier target for an Unleashed Power, and I don't think Marlowe's at the stage where we're executing with that yet. Let's see if Lumi survives here. A little bit of a face check.
There is Lily, gonna get jumped on by How. Crescent Guard comes in and Issei is rinsed. Ocean's on the back side as well. Finds another work through Lily, forces the flash away. Depth charge lands, but it has rejoined the rest of Zerance. A good scatter stuns onto 3 from Malo. Ive having to Justice Punch to safety. Lumi very, very low as well. And with ultimates down, Galions Pearl may choose to not try and take this fight again.
They already used the exhaust out onto Lily, so it's a difficult situation to face up against this Syndra with the ultimate already re-available from that mid lane poke. Vicky as well, raining down fire. Wiosna is waiting in the backlines, but they're not able to find the engage.
Wiosna goes into the pit as OP finds onto How on the side, and there is no contest left. Wiosna now might be stuck behind enemy lines as Issei joins the fray once again. Cosmic running away from Lily as Malo finds the execute onto Ive this time. Second time's the charm, as they say. Looking for more.
I reckon last time was probably the one that got them the stacks for the execute. Malo
Probably.
looking so strong right now. This Syndra unassailable at the start of the fight. It's towers down across the board as Zerance Bloom continue to eat these minion waves, and they look so tasty. The Smolder, surely it is only 20 stacks from the mode we so know and love in competitive.
11 stacks away.
Oh, 225. I can definitely count. It's close. It's coming. It's the most important
very
thing.
close.
Fear the dragon. With Baron
Fear the
only
dragon.
half a minute away. This little EP dragon's just gonna stand up and start spitting on people any
Punch
second. Oh dear. Cosmic, only 2 items. And while the Kaiser does have a pretty good setup with the Ginsus and Kraken, the Terminus sort of makes sure she can dive through. Right now, still very much fearing anything out of Malo and Vicky. It's very hard for the Kaiser to do their job into that. Plus, getting anywhere near the Yudu normally means instant death. So maybe the added resistance is from stacking that one up as Vicky has gone into I'm a full-grown dragon mode. Cosmic's health
Critical
just
mass.
feeling critical mass dragon. That sounds like a Yu-Gi-Oh card. That sounds like a 2000s Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Honestly, I'm living for it.
It's proper.
Issei gonna try and get some vision down, but is on her own, although it's like Galions aren't really aware of that fact.
I'm just gonna carry on. I'm gonna chill out. Wonder if Issei... Oh, they're gonna start onto Lily. Huge health bar here.
Lumi's just gone. Malo goes godlike and Lumi is eviscerated from the map.
I was about to critique Issei's approach. Was like, the Rel also doesn't have a huge health bar. Very true of the Nautilus at this stage. Only holding on really for a second with the Aftershock. Very fragile.
And with Lumi down, a good chunk of the engage goes with her. Not going to look for the Baron immediately, as it seems both Lily and Malo want to take their resets. Void Staff and Riftmaker completed a piece.
Ooh, powerful. Powerful stuff. Even more magic damage, even more sticking power in these fights. I was about to say tenacity, but that's actually a statistic in the game, so there we go. Not so much the tenacity where you like recover from CC a bit. Maybe the one where you just die slow. So I'm pondering the English language. This isn't the greatest use of airtime, but what is a great use of airtime is highlighting that Wiosna's Gwen has been like such a power pick for Galleon's Pearl. Absolute stonk of a champion and a pilot. And while they're not having a bad game, I haven't seen a lot from them. Well, they use needlework really well to like turn a fight earlier on and get one of the positions sorted for Galleons, but you're right, I haven't seen a lot since, and with another tier 2 tower going down so quickly, time is running out for Galleon's Pearl. It is Wiosna's sole mission here, I can imagine, to get the Smolder, throw needles at the Smolder, snip the Smolder, and watch the Smolder go back to base.
Yeah, that is the hope for Galions, I would wager, as we see just trying to keep their pressure up as best they can. They've got tier 2 standing in bot and mid still. Teleport coming in from Vicky back towards this mid lane here. Is How going to try and get some semblance of vision back. Check the Baron with that when becomes lightning. Nothing going to be learned. Dragon, 35 seconds away thereabout.
Soul point for Galleon's Pearl. So if they are going to fight, this is one with a pretty heavy reward attached to it. And anything to get onto that Smolder at this stage would be appreciated. The more stacks, the more damage this little guy's going to do. Vicky is feeling pretty powerful right now. So easily going to move into the river ahead of the objective spawn. And they're going to find a Hive on the way.
And they are a good chunk of damage, although it's still a Galio, still has that Hollow Radiance, has that Bloodletters, isn't as phased by Lily's damage.
Yeah, just gonna say hi. Massive pings down into the mid lane. Galleon's Pearl could try a retake from here, or they could just take the mid one in trade. It's likely to just be the mid one. They walk towards it. Now, will Zerance Bloom fight them for it?
Certainly could. Tier 1 goes down as Lily looking onto the back. Issei goes in, doesn't quite find anybody as Hal jumps back in. Maxwell comes down, but Lumi has found a way onto the smolder. Vicky is getting eviscerated. Step back from the mom on Cosmic. Now gets flashed on by Issei, stunned up by the Shattering Strike. Can find one, but the rest of the fight is being eviscerated by the rest of Zerance. OP, Lily, and Mallow on the front line completely tear Galions asunder. And the worm will be their prize. How is alive and can look for a steal, but will just be chased out before anything can happen. Alpi going to flash the wall, finds the slow, and Lily banks that one. It's a 5-for-1 and a worm on their plate.
Zerance Bloom make it look easy, only losing Issei, and despite Galions getting the precision strike they want to onto Vicky, it isn't enough for the Smolder at this stage. Issei and Lily start off the fight, but the flash forwards from Lumi finds the Smolder. The flash isn't enough to escape Ive's flash and taunt out of the ultimate, which also lands the Cosmic. A little stun and a little exhaust at this stage is only enough to get taken down immediately by Vicky. And the front line at the main point of Galleon's Pearl aren't able to survive without Cosmic burning back the enemy's front line. And with that, Zerance Bloom, it's a 10,000 gold lead. It's at a Smolder with an undefined KDA. It's looking fantastic right now.
It certainly is. This is honestly typically the point we would call no return in games. That 10,000 gold lead really difficult to come back from, especially with that tier 3 in mid lane having been blown apart after that Baron while we were in the replay. Now looking for the bot lane tier 2.
They'll walk the minion wave up. Baron empowered, so it'll take plenty of shots. Ive just gonna be burned as they run away. And so much damage. That is all magic. And despite it being Galio with the resists, with the reduction, still losing 10% of their health to an empowered Phoenix stance.
He is. Lily is going to get caught up here, but a good scatter catches Hal back. Is OP able to pick that one up? Crescent Guard going to do very little to keep her alive, as this could be the death blow coming in on towards Galleon's Pearl. All 5 members of Zerance very healthy. Lily just going to look for this other inhibitor as Mallow finds yet another good scatter onto Ive. And this Galio's health bar doesn't exist. Lumi finds a hook, but it's only onto Alpi. In goes Issei, doesn't quite find the target, but the public execution does. And executed is Lumi. We are now trying to fight everybody on her own. In comes the hero's entrance. Knockup lands on 2-3, which allows Squid to start doing some damage, but it's not enough. Ive finds one on the backside, but with every other member forced away, it's over for Galions. They tried their best, but there was nothing left in the tank. And while the scissors may snip, it is Zerance who cut them down.
Galleon's Pearl, despite getting the team composition that looks so much like them, fall. It's revenge for Zerance Bloom after EEC playoffs. I think we've got a rivalry on our hands, Luna.
I think we might. It was a very entertaining game, and Zerance really put their foot on the pulse in this game. From minute 1 through to the end, they were reading Galions like a little bit of a book. They did not give them the chance. They gave away objectives they felt they didn't need, and they found every single fight that they could. A very well-played game coming through from them.
Yeah, it's from so early on. Just the invade, easy peasy. They had the notes, they had the set plays, they had the timers, and Galions not able to overcome. Commiserations, and best of luck against G2 Hell in a rescheduled game. If Galions somehow manage to turn that round against, I think it's fair to say, the tournament favorite stage, then three-way ties and shenanigans.
Yeah.
But till then, it's a win for Zerance Bloom, no longer without a point on the board.
Being able to step up like that is definitely very impressive. Now, that is myself and Temporal done. Pleasure as always, my friend. We are going to throw it to a very quick break. When we come back, AC will have an interview, and then we will have the final thoughts from the desk. So don't go anywhere, because you're not going to want to miss it.
back, ladies and gentlemen, for yet another interview, this time around with none other than Zerance Bloom's top laner, Opie, who just came out of a resounding comeback win against Galions Pearl. Opie, you were just telling me about how excited you were, but I want to know, how are you doing personally?
Well, I'm doing great. Well, we just won, so it's hard not to feel amazing, I think.
That's fair. I mean, this was a big win for you guys. You were the team that was looking for a win, and the only team that also took a game off of Turna ever since they showed up on the scene. Has this pressure been looming over your heads over time? Because this was a massive comeback win for you.
I don't know. I'm not sure if there's exactly pressure on us.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like we were underdogs, and like in EEC we were underdogs, but now it feels like, yeah, maybe there is some kind of pressure because in this group especially, I feel like we should be one of the teams that goes out. And after we lost to Blue Otter, it felt like maybe we won't come out, and now it looks like we probably will. So
Things are looking
if there
good.
was any pressure,
Uh-huh.
I guess we managed to beat it.
I mean, we did see during the desk before this game that we had a small interview with Lily where we asked what were the things that the team was working on, and she straight up said, "We're just looking to not throw the game." Was this part of the feeling that the team was sharing as well?
Yes, I think everyone was just trying not to throw. Like, we were thinking of how we can throw and not doing that. We were just we wouldn't stop talking in game, wouldn't stop focusing. Even when we were laughing, like 5 seconds after, I would be like, guys, just focus now so we can go to playoffs. And yeah, up until the last moment, we stayed, I think, scared that we can still lose, even though it wasn't close.
Okay, it was. I mean, it was a very good showcase of what Zerance Bloom can do. So you work well under pressure, is what you're telling me. But now it's out of your hands. We still have one more game to go through on your group. It's G2 Hell versus Galions Pearl, and this game will determine whether or not you're fully qualified for the playoff group. Everything is looking bright on your end because, I mean, it's G2 Hell, right? It is the G2 Hell. So what are the plans here for Zerance Bloom in case you're absolutely certified going into playoffs?
Well, I think the plan is to win, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
I think we're all a lot more confident that we can do well in a BO5 than in a BO1.
Really?
I think most of us are, yeah. I know I am, because especially with Fearless, I think a lot of players will struggle, but I won't be one of them. I have confidence in that. So, yeah, I think if we make it to the BO5s, we'll do great. And, yeah.
I'm so glad to hear that. Opie, thank you so much for your time. I'm going to give you some room to tell your fans anything you want to tell them because you had a lot of fans out there and shout rooting for Zerance Bloom's success today here.
Well, I have to say thank you because after our last loss, a large part of our team was very, how do I say this, down in the dumps. We were very depressed. And I think all our fans and friends helped us up and they helped us win today, I would say.
Glad to hear.
I don't know if I would have bounced back without them.
That's so good to hear. Opie, thank you so much for your time. You've been wonderful, and we do hope to get to see you guys again down in playoffs and down in the desk as well. So, Opie, you have yourself a wonderful rest. You get to celebrate now.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, Opie. And on the side of the desk, I am back with our gentleman SIM and Rev. SIM has snipers all over him in case he says something wrong about the current teams. I'm going to back off slightly right now. But what a game we just witnessed. Where was this Zerance Bloom?
Do you want to go first, Rev?
No, one at a time, gentlemen. It's chaos. It's a victory for Zerance Bloom.
It's comfort, and still, like as Opie said, they were still scared. They were very focused. They had to do it, but they picked comfort. They did not go traditionally, and backs against the wall. That's the way to go. Like there are two places where you forget anything about proper pre-game strategy. That's in the last game of a best of 5. And when your back's against the wall. So congratulations to Zerance Bloom. I hope this kickstarts something because if Zerance Bloom actually enters the race in the form that they had in the qualifiers, I think we're gonna have way more serious competition in Game Changers.
And it basically also shows, right? Like, today they had their comfort, they were able to close out the game. Last week it was like basically on the edge of a blade whether they could have won or not won that game. It came down to that elder flip. Sometimes it goes in your favor, sometimes it doesn't go in your favor, but it does show that you can take a game towards those kind of crucial points. And now there's just this almost complete new adventure where, well, both groups are basically locked. I don't know how much we can say about tiebreaker rules, but we also saw Pivotless in the chat already saying that. Yeah, okay. But then that would mean that the head-to-head now basically also locks up Group A, and Zerance Bloom will probably therefore have to play against Solari Academy, which is also a really difficult team to play into, the number 2 seed of the other group, but at the same time also a team that has been proven vulnerable from time to time. They, of course, only lost their finals against G2 Hell a couple months ago, but also already dropped the game into the earlier victorious Zerance, so not Zerance. I'm really bad with names. No, I mean, Zerance Bloom is playing right now. No, Eterna, that's what.
Eterna, yeah.
Eterna. So they are vulnerable. Like, Zerance Bloom does have a really good shot into the next phase, playing into Solari Academy to make it even further.
And we just heard from Opie, they are more confident in best of 3s and 5s, especially 5s, rather than best of 1s. Maybe we could be looking at a wider pool. We saw that they were, like you said, they were able to steal a game off of turn, and maybe this is the power that we're expecting to see from Zerance Bloom. They just needed to get out of best of 1s. And Rev, now we have one more game to look out for. It's Galions Pearl versus G2 Hell, but that's only going to happen next week. What are we waiting for in this last game? Did we save the best for last?
I mean, last time G2 Hell played a game where it did not really matter in terms of qualification or in terms of standing. It was the one loss they had versus Vitality Rising based in the group.
Oh.
So I expect them to try something crazy. I know that there are players that are like Cultists, constantly nagging an M-test. Please let me play something fun. I'm bored of Zeeks. So I'll be having an eye on that game because it should be a banger. But on the other hand, I want to see the Galions as well go out with a bang, even if they drop to 0-3. I'd love to see them just play their hearts out the way they always play. Make the game as chaotic as humanly possible.
I'd love to ask the same question to SIM, and you know, I kind of know what his answer is. He probably wants Galions Pearl to go 0-3 so that Vitality Rising Bees' 0-3 doesn't look as bad, but might as well let it hear from his mouth.
Well, in the end, like, G2 Hell is still just the team to beat, so whether they go completely meme it or limit tested is completely up to them. Galions Pearl today have shown that they can team fight. There are moments that their team fights actually look good, but there needs to be a way onto the preparations where laning phase has to transition better into the mid game, into the later game, and then maybe the team fights will be a bit better. But in the end, it isn't that the team didn't necessarily like function bad, or like whether the players are bad or whatever. It's just unfortunate that the rest of the teams have just shown that coherently as a team they just play better League of Legends.
Absolutely. So I guess that will wrap it up for week number 3 of the group stage on the League of Legends Game Changers Rising. I wanted to give a shout out and a thank you to Riot Games Web Media and POG TV for making this show possible, and from myself, from SIM, Rev, the caster squad, and everybody behind the scenes, we want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for keeping us company throughout this show and from the past shows and upcoming shows. We wish you all a fantastic rest of a Sunday, good games, and we're gonna see you next Saturday.